Hey, Kurt here. Today I want to show you a really cool vintage toy that I had when I was growing up. This is the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle, and it was produced by the Ideal Toy Company between 1973 and 1977. And basically it came with a motorcycle, the Stunt Cycle. It came with an Evel Knievel action figure, which I'll talk a little bit about later, and it came with this contraption, which was called the Energizer. And basically, what you did was you posed the Evel Knievel action figure onto the motorcycle, and you put the motorcycle onto the Energizer, and you used the Energizer to put energy or power into the motorcycle, and the motorcycle took off with the Evel Knievel action figure, and they did amazing things. They did stunts, they could jump over ramps, and they could do flips in midair. This toy did some amazing stunts. It was a lot of fun to play with, and we're gonna show off some of those stunts later. One thing about this toy that's amazing is that there are no electronics, no batteries. It's completely mechanical and human powered or kid powered, and I think that's probably what made it such a popular toy for little kids like myself in the middle 70s. Now let's take a look at the Stunt Cycle itself. It has a front end that has a shock absorbing front spoke, so that if you hit something like a wall, it wouldn't damage the toy. Now this toy, speaking of running into walls, this toy is really very well made. It's heavy duty, it's very well constructed. It could take a licking and keep on ticking. Now inside here, I kind of showed you that the front wheel is just free spinning. The rear wheel is not free spinning. It is geared to a flywheel, and the flywheel is inside this main compartment. And for every single turn of the rear wheel, the flywheel inside here spins several times. And the weight of the flywheel really holds a lot of energy. Now, it looks like it's a steerable motorcycle, but it doesn't actually steer left and right. It always goes straight. Now, you'll notice on the back of the seat, there's this trick bar, and we'll go into that a little bit later. Now, let's look at the Energizer. The Energizer is basically a handle to hold on to, a crank, and a gear. And the crank, when you turn the crank, it turns the gear. And the gear actually puts the energy into the Stunt Cycle. And how it works is the Stunt Cycle has these little pegs on the back on either side of the rear wheel. And the Energizer has two little slots that those pegs slide into. And if I turn this around for the camera, you can see that when the Stunt Cycle is fully engaged into the Energizer, there's a gear right here next to the rear wheel that engages with the gear on the Energizer. And so as soon as you start turning this crank in the proper direction, it actually starts spinning the back wheel. And it's kind of ingenious. There's nothing holding this motorcycle into the Energizer. There's no release mechanism. It's just a friction fit. There's just friction holding it in there, and it's ingenious in how when you turn this crank in the proper direction, it actually pulls the motorcycle back tighter into the slots. And the way that you release the motorcycle is by stopping the turning of the crank. As soon as you release the pressure on this crank, you release the backwards force on the motorcycle here at this gear, and the thing just takes off. It's a pretty innovative design, and yet it's so simple, and it works great. Now let's talk about the Evel Knievel action figure that came with this toy. I actually can't find mine. It's long gone, long lost. But this toy was a very popular toy in the 70s. So a lot of people had this toy, which means a lot of people are selling this toy on sites like eBay. So I looked at eBay the other day, And you can buy an action figure on eBay for $30 and up, which is a reasonable price for a vintage toy. The thing about that is they're not going to be in great shape. The Evel Knievel action figure wore this solid white jumpsuit, and after almost 50 years, good luck finding one of those white jumpsuits that is still white. The ones I saw on eBay when I looked the other day were pretty nasty looking. Not to worry though, because there's a company in California that is right now remaking this toy. And I'm not talking about making a cheap knockoff of this toy. They actually are remaking this exact toy. They have gotten a hold of the original molds that were used in the factory to make this toy back in the 70s, and they're reissuing an awesome version of this toy, and you can buy it right now, today, in the year 2020. So, obviously, I bought one, and here it is, the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle 2020 version. So there it is, the 2020 version of the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle. And here is the awesome action figure. It's actually one of those bendy figures. It's a posable, bendable figurine. And with the wires inside and the rubber outside. So it's basically a very simple figure. And you can see he comes with a nice helmet. And there, it's got a nice detail in his face. I mentioned the white jumpsuit earlier. He also comes with an awesome Evel Knievel belt and belt buckle. And his hands are permanently in this shape in order to grab these handlebars. Now let's go over some of the poses that you can put Evel Knievel into. You would think that the most common pose for a guy on a motorcycle would be sitting. This particular figure doesn't actually, he's not really good at sitting, but we'll try it. We'll do the best we can. The problem is that these hands that hold on to the handlebars are aimed in a specific direction that don't make it super easy for him to sit. But Evel Knievel's a stuntman, so he doesn't do a lot of sitting. That's about as close to sitting as you're going to be able to get this guy due to the angle of the arms and the hands. So yeah, he's not a fan of sitting. His favorite position on the motorcycle is standing on the pegs, which obviously, if you've ever seen Evel Knievel do any stunts, you've probably seen him in his standing pose like that. That's a pretty popular, look at the camera, dude. That's a pretty popular pose for Evel Knievel, both the action figure and the real life Evel Knievel. So another standing pose is actually standing sort of side saddle. There's your side saddle kind of pose, which is kind of fun. Another thing that Evel Knievel, the action figure, loves to do, but I don't know if the Evel Knievel actual human liked to do it or not, I call the Superman pose, and it is awesome. I'm not sure how practical this pose is in real life. It's probably very impossible, except maybe in midair. But this is a very popular pose for this toy. You'll see a lot of pictures and videos. Now let's get into the trick bar, which is in the back of the seat. The trick bar actually holds on to Evel Knievel's shoes. And so from this Superman pose, we can put his shoes into the trick bar right now. This is another popular pose. I can almost guarantee you've seen pictures or videos of Evel Knievel riding his motorcycle in this pose. So this is a real life pose. Once you've got your motorcycle going and you're standing on the seat, you might as well just let go of the handlebars, right? Because you can stand straight up and your motorcycle will continue to go even without you steering it. And it's even more fun if you put your arms out like that. Another thing that you can do with Evel Knievel is you can have him sit in his handlebars backwards. And now Evel Knievel can ride backwards on his handlebars. The other thing he can do is turn around forwards and sit on his handlebars. That one's kind of fun. I don't know how practical that one is. And the last pose that I have for you is probably my favorite. It's probably the least practical in real life, though. It is the infamous upside down handstand, upside down while driving. Not practical in real life, I don't think. I can't imagine that Evel Knievel actually did this in real life. So it's pretty fun to come up with new poses. If you have some poses that you remember putting your Evel Knievel action figure into, or some poses that you would like me to try on the Evel Knievel action figure, keep it rated G, please. Let me know in the comments. All right, kids, guess what time it is? It's time to play. Let's take our Evel Knievel stunt cycle outside and let's play. Woohoo! Oh yeah, he popped a wheelie and he went pretty straight. All right, this is the side saddle pose. Tried to make his center of gravity reasonably in the middle, otherwise he's gonna really favor one direction and he's not gonna go straight. So let's see how this works. That was nice. Straight as an arrow. Alright, this one should be fun. This is a Superman pose. At least that's what I call it. Here we go. That was amazing. Evel had a bit of a hard landing that time. Lost his helmet. He is still hanging on though, like a trooper. This is Evel's first trick bar pose, where he starts with his hands on the handlebars. Here we go. Nicely done. Still standing on the trick bar. This time, no hands. This one feels a little unstable to me, so it's going to be interesting. Oh, that was very unstable. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to try the front handstand on the handlebars. This is going to be interesting because all of his weight is on the front wheel, whereas last time all of his weight was on the back wheel and it did not work out. Let's see how it works. Wheelie! And he recovered. That was great. That wheelie. And then came back down and drove away. Amazing. All right, now it is time to jump a ramp. This ramp appears to be about 30 degrees, give or take. Should be no problem for Evel Knievel. His helmet popped off. He landed beautifully and his helmet popped off. That was awesome. Just ran out of daylight, and we also broke the motorcycle. On that last jump, he flipped in midair and must have landed bad. I didn't have a camera on the landing, sadly, but I'm assuming he landed really hard upside down and busted his handlebar. So, I guess we're done for the day. Well, Evel Knievel did a great job today, all the way up to the end when his motorcycle broke. And I really want to thank you all for watching this video all the way to the end. If you have any feedback or suggestions for me, please leave those in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.